This is a protest against the future. They want to hold off the future.
It's a scandal, man.
Dying's a scandal, but we all do it.
He's out there, and he's armed.
Makes me feel free in a way I've never known.
Free to do what?
So, Cosmopolis, what's it about?
Cosmopolis is a postmodern philosophical drama based on a book by Don DeLillo, and it follows a 28-year-old billionaire called Eric Packer, played by Robert Pattinson. And one day, Eric Packer gets into a limo and he's going for a haircut. And I swear to God, that is the plot.
Really?
Yeah.
A man going for a haircut.
Yes.
That's a whole movie.
But it's simplistic, okay? In the sense that you have this very simple narrative, and in between that, they throw such an immense amount of depth towards the audience. Every 10 minutes in the film, there's a new character introduced in the car speaking to him. So it begins with Jay Barshall or something like that. I can't remember. They're speaking, and then he starts crying, and he's like, "Oh, you pity me," and stuff like that. And just as you start to feel bad for this guy, but just as you get sympathetic for him, there's someone else in the car, and you're thinking, "Who the fuck is this?" And this goes on throughout the film. There's someone else in the car, then there's someone else in the car. Every 10 minutes, there's a new person in the car, and it acts like a really boring chat show. It'd be like if Piers Morgan wasn't such an unbearable asshole, okay? That's what this film essentially is. But it's a very strange film.
I know I'll say something that's halfway clever, but mostly shallow, and probably inaccurate on some level. And then you will pity me for having been born.
We're in the car because I need a haircut.
So, I haven't seen the film, so why was it so strange and weird? And
as I said, it's him in the car talking to people, but there's this subplot in it, and it's him, and he stalks his wife around the city. Well, he doesn't stalk, that's a bit extreme. There's like interludes throughout this film where he encounters her, and then he just starts speaking to her, and she's played by Sarah Gadon, and there's one scene where they're just casually having lunch, and she's just like, "So what is it you're looking for?" And he's just like, "When's the next time we're gonna have sex?" I'm thinking, fuck! And she doesn't even go, "What the fuck are you talking about?" She just kind of goes, "Oh, no, I'm not that submissive, bitch." There's even our point, actually, as well, where he's talking to his advisor, played by Samantha Morton, and the camera just casually pulls back, and then you see his doctor with his hand up his bum. And
that sounds interesting.
Because he's getting a prostate checked, and it's just this casual, like, "So what's our plan here?" And he's just like, every couple of seconds. And then after this scene, I swear to God, everyone he encounters, he's just like, "I have an asymmetrical prostate." This is written and directed by David Cronenberg.
No idea who he is.
Okay, David Cronenberg specializes in body horror, and he blends both sci-fi and horror together. This film is very toned down in terms of how much violence and gore he usually does. There are some shocking moments in it, but like it's very mellow. I really like his visual style, and the film, his cinematography is great in here. But the standout was the part that you kind of went ugh on, and that was Robert Pattinson.
Oh no!
Do you not like him?
I don't think many people like him except for giggly girls that like Twilight.
Yes, but look, Robert Pattinson's best known for Twilight, which is known for its bland acting.
Yes.
But here, he has so much depth to his character, and that's what's surprised. This is his best performance of his career. I have respect for him because he is trying to establish himself as a very Oscar-worthy actor, and he definitely does show here. You're laughing at me because you're just like, "No, bollocks! That guy who glitters in the sunlight doesn't like have emotion."
See somebody that goes, "Bella,
look,
I love you, Bella."
Look, but here Robert Pattinson has a lot of depth to his character. At first, he seems robotic. I kind of went, "Oh, he's really bad in this." But as you begin to learn, he's really unstable. I also like this bodyguard played by Kevin Durand. I can't pronounce his name. There's a presence he gives on screen. He doesn't say very much in it, but he's cool the way he just stands there. And there's something I liked about him. I don't know what it was. He was intriguing.
We've had numerous threats, all credible. I'm still standing here.
Not a threat to your safety, to his.
Who the fuck is his?
The real standout moment, in terms of an experience, it was the third act that really sold this film to me, because that's when the film gets enjoyable.
So he gets to the barber, he gets a haircut, is at the peak.
He's
like, I got my haircut.
You're kind of like, cool, he's finally going to get his haircut. There must be something symbolic about this. The film...
Spoiler, by the way.
It's hard to spoil the film because the synopsis I read on this in the actual cinema tells you everything he does in this movie. I swear to God, if you read a synopsis on this film, it tells you exactly what happens. But as it picks up, it hits its conclusion, and when it hits its conclusion, it just ends. And that without spoiling anything, it just ends, and you kind of are left thinking, well, was it worth it? What was the point in this?
So basically, this movie is pretty much Twilight if you take out vampires and put in a bunch of horny businessmen.
In that there's a lot of characters and you don't have much time to spend with them to actually care about them. Yes. The best scene in this film, I have to say, before I get to what I didn't like, was the scene between him and Paul Giamatti.
Nope.
It's very unpredictable, and the film kind of pulls punches that you never see coming, and then when he finally approaches Giamatti, at this point you're kind of thinking, right, who's going to do what? You know, at any point any character can die, any character can do something so unpredictable. This is where we get to my problem with this. Now I have to put a disclaimer here because people who are really into art will destroy me for saying this. I'm not a critic. I'm not trying to be a critic. But the problems I give here can be flipped over by anyone else to say these are strong points to this film. This is a very niche film for a very, very niche market. This is for people who love those abstract, obscure, deliberately ambiguous kind of pieces. It's much like a David Lynch film. My problem is that there are these intriguing situations that are never explored. There are riots going on, the president's in town, there's a funeral that's been well publicized, and his bodyguard even informs him there's someone out to kill him. Only one of these dilemmas is explored, and the rest of them kind of just fit into the background. And because we are in the limo the majority of the film, we never get to see the outside society. Because the film builds this very intriguing, futuristic present that we never get to see. And we do get minor glimpses, you know, because we see from the perspective of Packer, whatever.
Packer.
He looks out the window, and you can see all these cool things. He's looking at the signs and stuff. That's what kept me involved was, well, maybe we'll get to see this. Maybe he'll eventually get out of the limo halfway through the film, and we'll see more. Yeah, that never comes. And this is where people will be divided. It is very slowly paced, and it's intriguing at the expense of enjoyability. And listen, I don't mind films being deliberately confusing films, requiring multiple viewings and continuous thinking. Look at Hitchcock films or Stanley Kubrick, Hitchcock Psycho, Kubrick, The Shining, I guess.
All right.
I love those films that make you think and they have interpretations and meanings and stuff to them. However, in this, I thought this film would have it, but that was my problem with the directing. Filmmaking, I said this a million times to you, Chris, filmmaking is visual storytelling. Any filmmaker will tell you this. This story is told entirely through heavy dialogue. And I'm thinking to myself, if this is a movie, why can't it convey its messages through imagery? Why can't it do a David Lynch? People will defend this. I know there'll be people on the internet especially that'll go, oh, you're just an idiot. You just didn't understand what was going on because you're like totally stupid and stuff. Look, this is the problem I had here is, as I said, it's relentless. It throws so much at you and you have little time to react to it. I like films where you can analyze what's going on and stuff. This film doesn't give you a chance. There is no time to breathe. By the fourth character that was introduced, I stopped listening. I really gave up. I don't know every word in the dictionary. I don't know every word in the thesaurus. And if you're going to convey a concept to me, don't do it through cryptic dialogue. I think it's very pretentious. And people will say, no, it's not pretentious. It's just a masterpiece. It's so clever and thought-provoking and sophisticated. I'll agree with you. It probably is.
So you're pretty much saying that if I were to watch this movie, I would understand about 3 things that happen, maybe like 3 words that are spoken. Probably.
And as far as the story is concerned, you can follow it. It's a simple story. Don't say there's any more than him going to get a haircut.
You're always waiting for something to happen, and whenever the thing that was going to happen actually happens, you're just like, oh,
film's
right.
Like, yeah, you're kind of like, oh, okay, good, this film's going somewhere. Poof, that's it over. Even me, as a hardcore film watcher, as a filmmaker myself, as someone who's learned to read film, but if I had to be fair, this film as an experience is a matter of taste. You're either going to like this film or you're going to hate it. I can't give it any less or any more than a 4 as a score. It's so ambitious that it alienates its audience. And a lot of people say, oh, well, it's more about the journey than the destination. Yes, but the destination was where the film got good, but just as it got good, the film had to end.
Just like this review.
Everything in our lives has brought us to this moment.